All right, everybody. It is Tuesday night as Jordan's coming in just on time. So you guys already know it's time for the big three. I mean, chat's already going already. You already know how that works. So we got Freddie. What's going on? I see Jory in here. What's up? So before we get into everything we have, oh, Rod, what's up? Remember I saw
Rod,
you on JJL, even though I couldn't be there, but
Rod Wave, what's up, man?
but before we get into everything, Dylan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, doing pretty good. We had our show yesterday, of course. That went really, really well. Yeah, just waiting. Like I said yesterday, it's kind of a dull period in sports, so I'm trying to get as much baseball knowledge as I can get in right now. Watched a couple games yesterday, so just kind of waiting. College football needs to hurry up. I miss it.
I'm just not that far out, not that far, but yeah, I feel you because I've been watching a lot of baseball, but we're just so close to football that now it's at the point it's just like we just
Yeah, it's like I
just
see
getting
stuff. It's like
preseason.
8 Sundays away. It's like 8 Sundays away, and I'm like, eight's not that big of a number.
Yeah, I mean it'll be here pretty soon. Jordan, man, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. I just, turned 25 Sunday, so, I had a birthday. Um, have fun. But I'm here to talk, some sports. Obviously, got baseball. We're kind of like in that time where it's like kind of slow. I mean, teams are starting training camp for NFL, so MLB's, All Star break happened. Basketball is kind of like the summer league is still going on, but that's about to end soon. So we're kind of like in that middle of like the thick where it's kind of like slow, but things are starting to start picking up. So baseball, this is where it really matters, the second half of the season. So with the trade deadline coming up for where's Shohei gonna go? Is he gonna stay put?
I mean, he had that bat flip last night, trying to let people know.
Right.
He's letting his future team know what they could have.
Maybe that's the end.
He's not
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll see about that. All right. Anyways, but I had a good birthday.
This is hell. They're in last place for everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
first time since 1950, sole possession of last.
I mean, wait till you get Aaron Judge back. That's all I'm saying.
By then, you might be too far out, man.
Could be all
right,
let's compete for fourth.
Let's get into the topics, man. Next topic. Next topic.
Just saying. I mean, yes, so hey, everybody's gonna want him, but yeah.
I see a new look. I got the have flat, the hat flip flop back, like you back in the '80s, man.
Like last night, I had it with the bill in the front, and I felt like I was blocking the light a little bit, so you got to let it shine on you a little bit. So
yeah,
I got to turn it around.
I see that forehead glowing, man.
It's the way God made me. All right. But yeah. So looking at what's been going on, yes, you guys said it's kind of a slow period. All this is the time where baseball kind of takes over to lead us into NFL. But luckily, we do have something to talk about with the NFL. There's been a lot of attention being paid to the running back market, kind of the lack of action for some of the bigger names. And we have the franchise tag deadline day come and go with some big names not signing. So I think we might as well just start there, get it going. Because, Dylan, we talked about this last night on Chief Seats a little bit. So I figured we bring it back here, get Jordan's input into this as well. So these three, Josh Jacobs, he didn't sign his. They said like he was basically in the parking lot ready to go. Didn't happen. Saquon got the franchise tag, isn't happy with it, trying to figure out what the future holds for him. We know a couple of weeks ago, Jonathan Taylor spoke out about the running back market because it's going to be his turn next year to go through this process. Eckler, Zeke Elliott's still out there. I haven't heard one rumor about Zeke Elliott. I don't know what his market is.
I heard like some Bengals rumors like at the start, and then like it was nothing. It was dull.
Let me get to Rod. Rocking the. I mean, Ken Griffey was my favorite baseball player, so I'll take that. Jordan, you're muted.
Yeah, that's what I thought too with the old Ken Griffey hat. Yeah.
Ken Griffey got me to switch hitting, so I'll take it. But yeah. So looking at the running backs and how it's going, even Joe Mixon, he's a guy who had to restructure his contract because Cincinnati basically told him, "We're keeping our wide receivers. We're going to pay our quarterback. You're not really a priority." So he had to do that in order to stay.
All right.
I think the question needs to be asked: have we gotten to the point with the running back market that is absolutely hit rock bottom right now? Is this like the lowest it's gonna be, or do you think it gets worse from here?
Yeah, I think this is the lowest it's going to be because at the end of the day, there's still going to be these star-studded running backs. Like Nick Chubb, at the end of the day, got a $16 million contract, and I think he's probably worth around that much. He's not someone who suffers a lot of injuries, a good rusher. Derrick Henry, he makes $16 million a year. I would say he is probably worth his money. I know he has some injuries or different things like that, but like overall, yeah, I think this might be the lowest period. There's a lot of outcry about it, so I feel like there'll be some change. Maybe it might not eclipse any specific point. Maybe this is where it might stay for a little bit before it raises or whatever. But yeah, I think this is probably where it will be at. I mean, they're going to see a lot of these guys getting franchise tags or like 10, 11, $12 million contracts because it seems like Barkley was offered 11. I imagine that's around the same ballpark Josh Jacobs was offered. So,
Jordy chiming in. For Eckler to be the main one complaining, he hasn't done much.
He does get a good amount on overall touchdowns.
Yeah.
What's up, Key?
What's going on, Key? So Jordan, like looking at this, do you think the lack of priority of the running backs, you think that is the best way to build your team? Like, you're a Ravens fan. If I guess J.K. Dobbins was in a situation like this, would you want Baltimore to extend them out to the kind of numbers that these guys are looking for? Or you think the teams are doing it right by drafting a guy, playing out the rookie deal, and drafting another one, just kind of keeping it moving?
Well, I'm surprised that like that running back, that running back room, like the whole field is the money is just less because like obviously the QB's number one is the most important position on the field. It's probably one of the hardest positions to play. But I would say after that, I'll probably running backs and wide receivers because if you think about it, running backs, they have short shelf lives, right? And like when you're a power like the Ravens, right? They're known for their defense, but they're known for the run game. So the job is to get in the trenches, man, like in between those A gaps and B gaps, right? And that's hard to do. I mean, Barkley does it like ease. He has like, the quads. He's strong. He trains. So I think that I'm kind of surprised that, I think, in my opinion, I think the running back is the most second value position on the field. Because if you're if you're a run heavy team, I mean, you rely on the run. I mean, and if you don't pay your running back, I wouldn't say not pay him top dollar, but pay him that second tier level of money, then you're gonna have to rely on your quarterback to. I mean, obviously Lamar and Mahomes and Hurts, they kind of change that game of the running quarterback where you take less off the running back's shoulders. But like when you name Saquon, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. I mean, at one point, Ezekiel Elliott. Those were like at the time. Well, some of them they were elite at the time, and they were the most important player. It was Dak and Ezekiel Elliott at the time. So I'm kind of surprised to see like the market kind of be small for those running backs. But in my opinion, that's the second most valued position on the field rather than the quarterback, and then the wide receiver will come next. But yeah, I think that I mean that's why I praise like Derrick Henry for coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What am I talking about, Freddie?
Well, like, I was about to. I know what Freddie's talking about. I was about to get into that.
They didn't change the game for running, huh?
Because the number 2, I don't know about that. Because yes, quarterback's number 1. We get that. But would you say the running back's more valuable than your offensive tackles?
I mean, I'm saying as far as skill position.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Not,
so
I'm saying
you're just looking at quarterback, running back,
running back. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not obviously you need to have an O line. Yeah, I'm not an idiot. Yeah, you need an O line, but I'm saying.
Well, I think for Freddie, the way you said it made it seem like running back was number 2. That's why.
No, well, so I said QB, running back, wide receiver. I said that. Like I don't know if maybe Freddie's deaf. I don't know.
So skill positions. I got you. I mean, some might push back on that and say wide receivers because of it being a pass-happy league.
Freddie, maybe you chimed in a little late, but I said QB is the most important position. Running back next, skill position, then wide receiver. So maybe y'all
got it cleared up. But like I said, even with that,
yes, on the offense, Sabina. No, on defense, on special teams, no.
I mean, Dylan, you agree with that? Out of the skill positions, would you say running back is the second most valuable?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like running backs do a lot. You kind of look at them as they do what every position has to do, except maybe you wouldn't say like the offense, like quarterback. They don't throw, of course, but you have them block, you have them catch, you have them run. Not all your receivers are running the ball. Not all your offensive linemen are running the ball. Shoot, some of your quarterbacks aren't even running the ball. Some of them have to be stationary and pass the ball. So you're having these running backs block on pass plays, block on run plays. I mean, I know some teams still run fullbacks. So yeah, I would say that the second most. A lot of these big plays that happen are set up by 5-6 yard runs. A lot of these first downs are set up by 2 yard runs, 3 yard runs, 4 yard runs. I feel like they're a very valuable position. I think receivers, of course, are going to take the prize in today's league because you can just throw the ball up to a receiver for a 50-60 yard gain. That's going to beat those 5-6 yard runs all the day, but there's not a lot of those out there in the league right now.
I mean, Freddie, maybe you're not getting what I'm saying. Like, yes, Lamar, like they've changed the game. I mean, obviously there was a Michael Vick's, but we have never seen like other than Michael Vick, like a Lamar Jackson or like a Pat Mahomes. That they've changed. Like, have you seen a quarterback do a no look pass? I mean, have you seen a quarterback, run like Lamar and juke people out like he's like a point guard like on the basketball court. He jukes people out. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you seen Vic wasn't a straight runner, you know what I'm saying? Lamar would juke you out in the open field.
Vic could juke as well.
I mean, yeah, but he was more like a straight runner, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't like all like flashy, but he's changed like I mean, what I'm trying to say is like if you have a quarterback like Lamar, you need a power kind of back running back if your quarterbacks are running quarterback because that takes the value away from the running back. If you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or Hurts, where he runs a lot, or even a Jalen Hurts or even a Justin Fields, who a mobile quarterback, like when he runs a lot, like that takes away the value of the running back. So. I mean, obviously, like, the traditional, like, Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's, you need a running back because, like, they can't run. So.
But, I mean, you did bring up Brady and Manning.
Yeah.
For Brady, he didn't necessarily have high-priced running backs. Smith.
No,
Corey
no,
Dillon
Jory, I don't.
was a
I don't.
cast out.
Mhm.
Like even with a stationary quarterback, they didn't pay running backs. So I feel like we've been heading towards this for a while. It's just unfortunate that it happened in a year where
Oh
you're
yeah,
talking
Cam,
about
yeah,
Josh
Cam Newton,
Jacobs,
yeah.
who led the league in rushing. He can't get a contract extension. Saquon Barkley, as like we all said, you watch the Giants play. Barkley's running the ball. He's catching screen passes. He's going out in routes.
Right.
He couldn't come to an agreement. Jonathan Taylor is. He's kind of like Barkley. Jonathan Taylor is a big part of the Colts offense. So I'm interested to see what happens with him next year.
I mean,
Because with
look,
all
I mean,
the
look
outcry
where.
from this year, like it's going to be a situation where he might take
Mhm.
a little less to avoid all this, or is he going to stick his heels in the ground and say, "I want
Man,
more"?
I mean, they're saying Cam
yeah, it's going to
Newton.
be an
Cam
interesting
Newton. I mean,
situation.
Cam Newton's prime was good. I mean, but he had a short shelf life, and he had an injury. Obviously, right now he had a better arm than Lamar, but I mean, look, he's out of the league right now. So
Well, yeah. Even though he says what do you say? Like I can't remember what his quote was. He's better than.
I mean,
the
then you got
32
Colin
starting
Kaepernick too. Colin Kaepernick was a mobile quarterback too. Like he was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson came into the league. Like,
well, I mean, Jory did ask an interesting. No,
you
that
don't.
wasn't the one.
If I'm
Oh, here we
JT,
go.
I'm getting out of Cam
Do you want your quarterback running like that?
Well, I mean, Freddie, like you said, you were 100% confident that you're going to get your running back, so sign him to a contract. So he didn't. So
I mean, to answer Jory's question, sorry, I'm going to bring up Lamar. Like what Jordan said, Lamar hasn't been injured in the pocket. He's been injured on scrambling.
outside the pocket, scrambling.
Outside the pocket, scrambling the ball. Like, yeah, I mean, having a good, solid running back who can take a lot of that running game pressure off, something that can create something that is not an aerial attack, is very important. I feel like if Josh Jacobs was able to run for 1,400 yards on like any other team, that team probably would have done better. It's just the Raiders sucked. I mean, they weren't great. Josh McDaniels didn't coach the team super well.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a conversation. Like, it's definitely a debate question. Like, what is other than the quarterback? Like, what's the most? I mean, obviously your O line, but I'm talking about skill position. Like, what is the next valued skill position? I think it's running back. Just like they do screen passes, they catch the ball. They're out in the slot sometimes. Like they do more and like they get hurt more because like they have to go in the trenches. So it's like that's why Tennessee is grateful that they have Derrick Henry because he's a power back. He can push through the line. And that's hard to do, and he makes it look so easy. Barkley does it. Makes it look so easy because he trains and stuff. But I mean, y'all can say O line, but I'm saying skill position where that's the second valued position on that side of the ball.
I would probably go with Jory on this one because she did say as the quarterback value increases, so does the wide receiver. Because if you're paying your quarterback, you gotta give him targets to throw to. There's only a few where you can kind of get away with that. Once again, Brady didn't necessarily have top targets his whole career. Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year. Like, would you say he had top tier wide receiver group?
I mean, Freddie said wide receivers they do more, but I think running backs do more too. They can block, they can do running back screens, they can play as a wide receiver.
But there's a counter to that. Deebo Samuel is a wide receiver
and a running back.
Can line up as running back, but he wants to be paid as a wide receiver.
Right.
And I think you're starting to get a lot of talent like that in college where you're getting guys who can kind of be hybrid between the two of them. I mean, New England has Ty Montgomery who did that for Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean,
Cordero
look
Patterson
at Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale Robinson, he did that at Kentucky in college. Now he's on the Giants.
So maybe that might be where, well, I'm assuming that's where probably some teams may be looking for guys like that who can kind of do both. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to find a Deebo Samuel every year or Cordero Patterson. But
I got to look that up, Freddie. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good point. I don't know who the last running quarterback was to win a Super Bowl. Was it Mahomes?
Russ? Would you say Russ?
I mean, that's also the interesting because Mahomes can scramble. I don't know if I'd call him a running quarterback.
You'd have to say Russ then.
Russ?
Because you got to think it'd be Tom Brady. So Nick Foles wasn't a rushing quarterback.
Nope.
I mean, Freddie,
Mahomes had
do
it.
you know?
Matt Stafford's not a running quarterback.
But he's still a mobile quarterback, though. I mean, Mahomes.
Yeah,
So.
because you would probably say it was Russ, 2013.
Yeah. And I don't even know if people look at Russ as a running quarterback necessarily.
Not as much, but he's known for being a great scrambler, like inside and outside the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, Chris. I mean, I have a question for the panel and the people in the chat. Like, if you had prime Marshawn Lynch, right? Like, would you pay him top dollar for a running back?
Lynch?
I'm just saying, like, this hypothetical.
I got you.
I feel like this probably isn't the question for me.
I feel like when I see Marshawn Lynch, I think of him as a Derrick Henry type category.
That's crazy. You want to pay him top dollar for running back? That's crazy. I have people in the chat.
Because if you look at it, if you're dealing with a salary cap, you got to structure your team a certain way. So quarterback, you got to set aside big money for that.
So for the Giants, they're gonna pay Daniel Jones before Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Even though Saquon was
imagine
the whole team.
If you had Saquon Barkley and some random guy at quarterback, that would just cause defenses to load the box against Barkley, which would hurt his effectiveness. So you're always going to pay the quarterback, no matter what.
Even with a guy at college, I mean, you can still get hurt because a running back's lifespan or a career span in a career is short. So I mean, I'd rather have a guy with fresh legs. But it's just a league you're going in. That's also
part of it as well. Most teams do kind of running back by committee.
Like Bijan Robinson, like he can be a top dollar running back, but he can get hurt.
But okay, that's a good point there. Tyler Algier rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and Atlanta turned around, drafted another guy high in the draft. So that's going to take away from Algier's production, which will probably make him fresher. And for Bijan Robinson as a rookie, you're not going to give him 30 carries a game because you have Algier who can spell him as well. I think that's something else that's happened around the NFL. Back in the day, if you had Barry Sanders, who knew who Barry Sanders' backup was? Mm-hmm. I don't. But now, I mean, take my team in the Patriots. You got Stevenson, you got Damian Harris, you have Kevin Harris. Like, you have teams running 2-3 guys back there. If you're going to start paying that deep into a position like that, that's going to take away from top guys. So like that's where we are right now.
So like my counterpoint is like Brees Hall, right?
Okay.
That guy out of college. Great running back, ACL tear.
Well, the injury part, that's a factor for every position.
Yes, yeah.
Because Carson Palmer was, dropping back. A player dove at his knee. He tore up his knee. Right. Wide receivers get tackled to the turf. They can get a concussion. They can get whatever. So the injury part, I don't know if that's necessarily the biggest factor. But yes, with running backs, if you guys, you take away their legs, then they're not the same guy.
But to counter that, Sabino, I mean, Pollard's hurt, ACL tear, so he's recovering. He's in rehab. So now they didn't have a running back.
Well, he'll be back.
I'm saying I'm saying he'll be back, but I'm saying that if he gets something happens in rehab, he gets set back. Ezekiel Elliott's still on the market, but you don't have a running back. But no, he's going to be good when he gets back. Who knows? That means the running back shelf life. You don't know with the ACL is different. So
I'm just catching up on the comments here.
Yeah.
So Cool brought up Antonio Gibson from Washington wants to play wide receiver like he did in college.
Well, go Memphis.
And those I know Dylan talked about before, like a Cordell Patterson who can play, wide receiver or running back. Those are like diamonds in the rough. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, thanks Chase for seeing my point. You're the only one who sees my point, but in the chat. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But with the running back, I mean, I'm kind of like, that's why I'm kind of shocked that it's like they're not being valued as much as because obviously you want to make sure that if you're a run heavy team, you want to have that your running back. Obviously, your own line is key too, because you want to be able to block your QB and make sure your running back can blow up those holes. But it is what it is. But now you see Derrick Henry coming out, other players coming out and kind of defending the running back room because they know that it's like they're valued.
I would hope running backs will defend the running back room.
Oh yeah, I know, but I mean, now it's coming to a point where people are coming out now and like, yo, like what's going on? Like, how come we're not valued as much as other positions? But I think the QBs, they're untouchable. They should be valued because that's the hardest. I mean, I watching that series QB quarterbacks on Netflix. Like, it's making me realize what these quarterbacks put their bodies through during training and the off season with Mahomes, Cousins and stuff, and how many hits he takes. It's crazy, but I think the second most valued position on the offensive skill position is running back. That's my opinion.
Like I would still go wide receiver, and in certain instances, if you look at San Francisco, you got a George Kittle. I think they also have Christian McCaffrey, but if you have a tight end like a George Kittle or a Mark Andrews type, that's pretty valuable as well for your quarterback.
And I mean, I think the fullback is going to be gone soon. I mean, you only have
fullback's already kind of extinct.
Bro, your team's the only team that uses a fullback.
Yeah, and they got Juszczyk on the 49ers. That's it. Like that's kind
of. He'll be a tight end. I mean, even look at Seattle. They're like their fullback plays outside linebacker for him just so he has a purpose.
Oh, and wait, what did Pollard? I thought Pollard got hurt. He didn't tear ACL.
No, he got hurt, but Doug's saying it's not a torn ACL.
I thought it was a knee or.
Cool. Also, cool.
I mean, Doug. I ain't gonna argue with Doug. Doug knows his team, but I thought he got hurt with the knee.
Gibson also realizes he won't be starting this season. Okay. Trying to see. So I mean,
spawn time.
What would you say, Dylan?
I said do spawn time.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where, because I saw a quote from a scout. So he basically said that so Doug said he broke his leg, 8-week recovery time. It wasn't a torn ACL.
Oh.
So there's a scout who they asked him, like, when you're evaluating talent or whatever, how would you go about the running back position? And he said, draft a running back at the end of the rookie deal, draft another quarterback. Oh, no, franchise tag him, draft a quarterback, and just keep him moving. And
he suffered a broken fibula, so it's still a gruesome injury, but it's a leg.
Yeah, well, like Doug said, it's only, I mean, not only, but it's an 8-week recovery.
Yeah,
so he'll be ready for.
Yeah, he said he'll be ready by training camp, but you have to be cautious with that. A fibula, that's like your whole leg.
Well, I mean that plays into the running back position when you're out there running. You got linebackers, you got safeties coming down the box. A lot of times they're taking your legs out because if you tackle them up high, a lot of these guys shove off and keep going. Like especially Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's a guy. If you're gonna try to tackle him high, good luck. And that plays into the dangers of the position. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I played running back when I played in school, so I feel for these running backs. But I'm not gonna say that necessarily think that these teams are wrong for going about it this way. It's just unfortunate.
Like, how do you feel I want to ask each one of y'all, like, how do you think the Giants are handling this situation with Saquon Barkley? I mean, obviously,
I don't know. It's weird because it seems like they were just $1 to $2 million off. Like, yeah. And if that was really the issue, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I would have had an issue if Saquon was like we're at 12, give me 13 or 14. I'm not sure I would really be too crazy on like not giving that to him. I think it's weird. It's good to know for a player like Josh Jacobs. It was just kind of like, maybe they waited too long to get onto the right deals, that they just missed the deadline, and that was just, maybe due to bad negotiating or just a while to find the right time. But it's good that Jacobs was going to get a deal that at least he probably hopefully liked and wasn't just going to sign just to get the money. Overall, yeah, I don't like how they're handling it, especially if it was just like a couple million was the difference. I feel like Barkley's one of those dudes. He's the biggest star you have there in New York. He's the face. He's going to be the one that's going to sell all those jerseys. He's going to be the one to make most of your revenue when it comes to just players for the New York Giants. So giving him an extra $1 to $2 million a year, making him close to being the top paid running back, which he is one of the top running backs in the league, I don't think is far fetched.
Yeah.
Okay. So between Jacobs and Barkley, which one would you say you're more shocked by them not signing?
Man,
I would say Jacobs. I feel like he was one of the guys that was like rumored to like be traded or different things like that. But I was just never confident that Saquon was going to get a deal done properly. I just felt like it was going to be one of those
yeah.
situations.
After that,
I feel like
Dan,
New York was
Dan-
stingy. That Daniel Jones contract
Yeah.
might have made him like worry a little bit. Also, just I don't know.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
injury history.
What did Jacobs have any injury history? I think he did. I'm not sure.
He might have, but
Even if he did it, I don't think it's to
It
the
was
extent
like
of Barkley
too crazy.
necessarily.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
basically outside of last year, Barkley wasn't necessarily the healthiest running back,
hmm
which that has to factor into these negotiations as well. Because if last year was just an aberration and he
Yeah.
goes back to kind of what he was early in the season, then that contract looks terrible in a couple of years. And that's the kind of tug of war that's going to go on between some of these guys. Because look, Derrick Henry got paid because Derrick Henry's been basically
the
a
Titan.
rock back there
Yeah,
since he's gotten the starting job. So it's easy to pay a guy like that. But Barkley, you kind of hesitate, like, I don't want to tie up a
he's
bunch
been
of money
hurt.
to a guy who might get hurt again.
yeah. I just think that like Dylan said, Saquon maybe saw that they paid Daniel Jones, which obviously you got to pay your quarterback. But I if I have said this before, I'll say it now that the Giants won't be where they are without Barkley. I mean, that's why he's so valued. So
Well, at least Barkley thinks that. I mean, yes, if you don't have Barkley, you kind of just have to change your offense a little bit. We don't know what that would look like.
yeah, because
I think it's not
I've
going to
actually
work
seen
out
the
for him,
Giants
but
play when they played the Ravens, and I mean, this is my first time seeing Saquon Barkley ever, like in person. That dude, like, he carried the team, man. Like, there was some of those plays that was like 3rd and 4, like 4th and short. Without Barkley, they were not getting those conversions. But obviously, I get it. You got to pay your quarterback. I get it. Quarterback's first because he's the most value player on the team. But I mean, you got to feel it for kind of Barkley. I know he was hurt those couple of years. But if he's healthy, if he's ready to go, I mean, I wouldn't say pay him what he wants, like to the bone and to the T. But like, I obviously pay him where he's like comfortable, where he feels valued,
also, like Dylan said, they were supposedly a couple million off.
But
So it seems
like
like
Cole
they were
said,
close.
NFL's a business, man. It's kind of like the Lamar situation. He got hurt 2 years. It was the risk of paying him top dollar, but they saw what. I mean, obviously the quarterback is the most valued, so they saw that what he can be, when he's healthy. So it's kind of like that. Like, would you want to risk paying this quarterback this money for an injury history quarterback, or a risk worth taking paying the quarterback 5 years, 6 years plus, or whatever? So that's what the Ravens did. They kind of but obviously the running back is a different position, but kind of situation like you said, Kyle, like 2 years, like a team doesn't want to risk paying a running back that, especially it was like both groin injuries, I think.
So Justin Tucker's more valuable than
Demons going in on
Saquon.
Saquon.
It's the Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw a graphic on Instagram saying that Justin Tucker was the most valuable. He's the best kicker in the NFL. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue that. I mean, well, yeah. I can't even think of anybody else who would be a close second.
who can kick a 70-yard field goal? That's crazy.
So, Bina said, explain how he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let you have that one, Bina. All right, so I did ask for, us to come up with like top 10 list of running backs. I mean, with the guys who aren't signed, it's kind of hard to really factor them in because you don't know are they going to change teams or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did it without them, but if you added them into your list, that's fine. So we're basically going to do top 10 running backs based off of basically yardage from the line of scrimmage, passing and receiving. Anybody want to go first?
Is that like is it going like
into next year?
Into next year, okay.
Yes.
I didn't even do a list, man. I thought we were just talking about the.
Like I said, I put it out there, and then
Yeah,
with the running back conversation, I didn't even want to worry about the list. But I can give you mine, and then we could just go off of that and debate that if you want.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I have a list as well too, but we can just do that to make it a little bit easier.
And Bina says Tony Pollard top 5. We'll see.
Cowboys are Super Bowl champions this year, man. I'm calling it. It's like I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
I know. I mean, Dylan, you want to go ahead with your list? We can start with yours.
Oh, I just said we could go with yours and just debate that, but that's fine.
So for me, I got Chubb, number 1.
Yep, that's who I had.
I'm assuming the better Deshaun Watson helps him out a lot.
Okay, Nick Shaw. Okay.
I got Christian McCaffrey at number 2 because of the pass catching ability and everything like that. I got Derrick Henry at 3. I do think the D-Hop signing, which I guess we could talk about in a little bit here, will help out Henry because it might create some more spaces and holes for him to run through. As crazy as that sounds, with as dangerous as he is. I have Jonathan Taylor at 4. Then from here, it's a little crazy.
I'm curious to see where you put J.K. Dobbins at.
Not.
We'll see.
Okay.
I went Travis Etienne at 5.
Okay.
That might be high to some, but I think he kind of came on towards the end of last season. I think he started off a little slow last year, but came on strong. I figure he's going to have another really good year this year. And like I said, with these guys not factored in, I have Etienne up at 5. I went Breece Hall at 6. I
like that.
Kenneth Walker, 7.
Yeah, K9.
I have Pollard 8. So, I don't have him top 5. I have him 8. I know you're probably going to send a message here. Pacheco got to be in there somewhere too. Yes. I have I have Aaron Jones at 9. I actually had Pacheco at 10. So no, I don't have J.K. Dobbins in my top 10. And that's because we talked about it before. Lamar's going to get some running in. They like to shuffle in. Pollard's better than Travis. Oh, Etienne. I mean, between 5 and 9, it could be any order, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because you have other running backs like Alvin Kamara. There's just so many other guys that you could just fit in any of those spots. But that's a good list. I like that.
Is Eckler, is he on the chart? Is he like a free agent or is he?
No.
He's on the chart? Okay. Well, I know he was. I thought he was on the market.
No, there's like a moment there where he spoke out about it, but yeah, he's still with the Chargers. Bina said, I'm just giving you a hard time. Hey, it's okay. It's all right.
Oh, here comes Greg.
If you're listening, you're allowed to critique my list, so it's all good. Sajin says, showing the Hawks some love, bro. Go ahead and keep the party going. And then our favorite, Gregory's in the building.
I can do the list off the rip. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins 3.
So you had 1. You had a Chubb, right?
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna do Chubb number 1. I'm gonna do 2 Cordell Patterson number 2.
Even with Bijan there?
Yeah, with Bijan and Algier, you want to run Patterson a lot.
Well, is he gonna be moved down to 3rd? I guess on the depth chart.
I feel like he's gonna be a slot receiver.
I feel like they're gonna just use him when they need some big guy to get over the line.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I
When
was thinking
Bijan's
about
tired.
yeah, Bijan, yeah. I thought about that. Okay, so number one, I have Chubb. I mean, can we still put like Dalvin Cook in there, even though he's like a free agent?
As I said, it was like up to
Okay.
you if you want to put those guys in or not. I mean, if you want to go with Dalvin Cook, so I would assume. I mean, he's obviously going to play next year. We just don't know where. I feel like for a guy like him, I would need to know where he's going to play before I figure out how well he'll do.
So I like one Chubb, two. I'm gonna give Sabino some love. I'm gonna put Pollard two.
Wow.
Um, three. I'm gonna go. See, like this is tricky. Three. I'm gonna go Barkley.
Okay.
Four. I'm gonna go. Like who's that running back for your team? Dylan. Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker. Yep.
I'll put Kenneth Walker 4. 5, I have Dalvin Cook. 6, I have Brees Hall.
Okay.
6, I have
Well, you just said 6. It was Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. Oh,
Yeah,
7.
Yeah.
It's tricky now. I'll go 7 Eckler.
Okay. I mean, it's some big names you're missing.
No Derrick Henry.
You haven't said McCaffrey. You haven't said Henry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 8. I'm going Henry.
Taylor. You still have him.
Yeah, so many different running backs, man. So many value
That's a
running
tough
backs.
list.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah. Well, you know what? Where I had Devin Cook, I had him at 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch out him for Taylor.
Okay.
Since he's on the team, he's. And then I'm gonna go CMC 8.
Okay.
And then 9, I'm gonna go with.
So P Ryan 10. Oh, you baby.
I'm gonna go 9 Dobbins. No, slight. I'm gonna go 9. Who's the running back that used to be on? Was it Saunders?
Miles Sanders. For
Sanders?
the Panthers.
Miles Sanders on the Panthers, and I'm gonna go 10. I'm gonna run on my list.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go CMC. So top 10.
I hope
Be an
Jordan wasn't
interesting
listening
top 10.
'cause you left out Derrick Henry.
No, I thought I put Derrick. No, I put Derrick Henry in 7.
Oh, okay.
Then I ran a CMC with
gotcha.
Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it was off the rip. I didn't have time to put it together, so
I got you. That's
bear with me,
interesting.
chat guys.
Well, we're gonna have 1,000. Oof. Maybe.
Sanders 210. I'm interested to see what Miles Sanders does in Carolina. Carolina's got an interesting squad. I don't really know what to make of it yet, but they could have.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there, but should be pretty good for Bryce Young regardless.
Hello, Eagles Cowboys chatter in the chat. Sabino and Cool going at it.
All right, so I mean, I guess Dylan, between the two lists, like anything that you would change or?
I mean, probably. I mean, I do like Brees Hall being as high as he is at like a 5-6 range. I feel like he's a guy who was really good last year. I don't think it's crazy to have CMC lower on any list as well too. If you look at the 49ers when they got Christian McCaffrey, they ran a lot of split back with him and Elijah Mitchell. McCaffrey wasn't receiving a lot of touches until Elijah Mitchell got hurt. This is a team that really likes to run a lot of different running backs, so CMC maybe could have a lesser year of production, which wouldn't mean he'd be worse, just means he'd be probably more fresh in specific games and probably more fresh in bigger games that you probably need someone like Christian McCaffrey on the field. No, I think the lists are pretty good. I'm not sure how I feel about Tony Pollard just in general. I don't know. Like, I really liked him when he was the backup, but now that he's the starter, it's like, okay, like, let's see if we can get this consistently from Tony Pollard. And coming off an injury like he has been, it just makes it a little iffy. He's someone who I'm not sure if I would put in a top 10, but someone who would be at least
that's
7,
gonna make
8.
Sabino pissed, man.
I mean, a lot of running backs at the end of the day. Like we said, we have like so many different ones from like Alvin Kamara Like,
oh, I forgot
exactly. There's so many different ones. You have Pacheco, you have Josh Jacobs still, who was the league leader in rushing last year, and he wasn't on anybody's lists. So, I mean, there's so many different running backs you can put there.
Since
all
y'all think
depends.
that Lamar is a better runner than Patrick, would you put him in a running back list? No, I'm joking.
I mean,
I'm
get
trolling.
close to 1,000.
I'm trolling.
You get like, I mean, you got to look at Justin Fields, for example. He had a lot of rushing yards as well too. Mixon, nah.
I brought up Joe Mixon. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Nah, the team doesn't seem like they even want him there anymore.
I never say Cowboys. I
Super Bowl
understand
got
how
more
hard.
than that. I understand how hard it's
I
going to
know
be.
whatever knows who
Whoever
will
knows who will be the Super Bowl, but I definitely say Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah, another NFC fumble of Ezekiel.
Pollard,
Well, nice.
K9.
You know, so Pollard better than K9.
Yeah. I mean, that's not something I would necessarily dispute. I mean, definitely in the passing game, he's a lot better.
K9.
But
Who are you referring to?
Kenneth Walker.
Oh, Kenneth Walker. Oh.
That's not something I would necessarily dispute. But I watch it when Kenneth Walker was a rookie last season, so I mean, still good, still on 1,000.
I mean, I would say. I mean, I was
should have been rookie of the year. Just saying.
Yeah, I was hesitant to put Brian Roberts in there too on the Commanders, but I was. With that, I mean, he could because I mean he had Eric Bieniemy on that side of the ball and all the sides, so they opened up plays for Brian Roberts. I was kind of hesitant to put him on the list, but
he's one of those situations I have to just see some production out of him before
he's
I want
probably
to put him on a list.
like outside the top 10, like maybe 11, 12.
But we have to see what the enemy's vision for that offense is. We don't know that.
Exactly. So like, what are they doing with Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett, whoever's starting?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it was a nice conversation to get the show started about the running backs. But we will move on to our next topic. We're going to go to the NBA.
Basketball.
So looking at some of the coaching moves that were made this offseason, I feel like some are in a situation where I think they're going to be asked to win right now, right away. Others, I feel like, will have some time to kind of build their system out, not a lot of expectations. So my question was, which new coach in a new place is going to have the most pressure on them next season in the NBA?
Man. So just a brief refresher. Name some of the coaches that moved. I know like Nick Nurse. I know Monty Williams.
Went Milwaukee. Monty Williams went to Detroit. Vogel's in Phoenix.
I thought Nick Nurse went to Philly.
Oh, Philly. Sorry, I said Milwaukee.
That's what I thought too.
Adrian Griffin. Sorry, went to Milwaukee.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the major ones, but
I mean, already the first name that pops off of that little list is Frank Vogel. I mean, if you look at the Suns is a team that kind of just went all in. I mean, trading for Kevin Durant's an all-in move. Adding Bradley Beal on it is all in. I mean, if you look at their future draft picks and what they really have for the future, it's not a lot. I mean, of course, Devin Booker is not super old. Neither is DeAndre Ayton. But outside of that, you have Bradley Beal, who is getting older. Same with Kevin Durant. I mean, Vogel's supposed to come in here and basically coach an NBA championship caliber team. That's going to be the expectations here in Phoenix, is to win a championship. You don't make these moves just to, give them a couple of years to work it out. You hire a coach like that to attempt to win now. You make the moves like that to attempt to win now. So if Vogel has a horrible season, or if they're bounced out in the first round, man, he could be just a one and done type situation, because when you put a lot of investment and a lot of money into different players and different things like that, you kind of want results. And if it's a bad season, it would be one and done. You might be out.
Yeah, and if you think about it, he kind of went through sort of a similar situation when he was in LA.
Mm-hmm.
LA had expectations that he kind of didn't reach or wasn't satisfactory enough for the team, and he was gone. And now he's in Phoenix, like you said. With that team, you don't have a long shelf life with them, because we don't know like how many really good years of KD we have left. He's getting up there in age. We don't know, especially with the injuries he's had recently. Not sure what that looks like. But I kind of agree. I think Vogel is going to have the most pressure because of, like we all said, Ayton, KD, Beal, Booker. I think to a lot of people, that team probably should win the West next year.
I mean, people thought when they just traded for Kevin Durant, that was a team that should have won the West. They were probably like the favorite pick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and with their shortcomings, they obviously put that at the feet of Monty Williams because they got rid of him.
mm-hmm.
So Vogel's gonna have to come in and prove that he's better than what Monty Williams was. Even though I say Monty Williams probably should still have a job, but that's a tough situation for Vogel. Like if they start off slow, you already know what the NBA media is going to be saying, that he's the wrong guy. Get somebody else in there. And that's going to be a lot to deal with early in the season with a new group that has to learn to play together. Mm-hmm. So that's a tough spot for him to be in. So, I mean, for Jordan, I guess the question would be, do you think there's anybody else?
I would say Vogel, too, because he has the superstars. But also another coach is Nick Nurse, because we see what's going on in Philly.
Okay.
That's more kind of like on the owner, like Daniel Morey, or what's his name?
Daryl.
I know it's Daryl Morey. Harden wants to go to the Clippers, just like Dame said he wants to go to the Heat. You still have Embiid there, so I think Nick Nurse, whatever Morey gets in the package, I mean, it's the Celtics, Milwaukee. I would say Heat and Philly still like in the mix. So he has the pressure, I think, too. Obviously in Phoenix, Vogel has the more superstars like Bradley Beal and Booker and KD. So I mean, yeah, they have all that talent on there, but I think that it's fair to say in the East, Nick Nurse has a lot of pressure with that team because he has to have a plan of obviously he doesn't have the plan, but whatever players get like in the package or Harden stays, he's gonna have to deal with all those egos with Harden and Embiid. I think didn't Embiid come out in the media and said like he
I mean, we're saving that one for another topic.
But yeah, I mean, you know where I'm going.
There'd be more pressure on him with a Harden trade, or if he stays.
Or do
you think it's the same pressure no matter what?
Well,
I think there's more pressure if Harden stays. If he stays in a sense where he's like all in, where he comes out and he was like, "Hey, I know I requested a trade. I've talked it over with like the new coaches and whatever. They rework a deal, and he's like, I'm committed to Philadelphia." Like I feel like the pressure would be on him. But if it was in a sense where you had to trade James Harden and kind of like retool, you don't really know what identity. You might have to wait for a big star to try to one out to see what you could do. I like Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's really cool. Maybe try to wait on his progression even more, or hope he can take another big step this season, kind of be that 2-star, be that he was kind of like a third option with Harden and Embiid. He can kind of maybe be that number 2 guy, and you can look for a third option. But I feel like if Harden stays, it kind of that's 2 big superstars. I feel like there'd be more pressure on him that way.
I mean, they kind of the same way that Phoenix kind of used, like you said, they used like Monty Williams, to blame him. They did the same thing for Doc, but we knew that either Doc was going to leave or be shipped out. But I mean, they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Celtics have always been in their way. So I mean, they've had the talent, and B can't do it all by himself. But I don't know if I can answer that question, Kyle, because it depends on what stars they get in the package. Because you still would have to deal with any player, or depending on what ego that player is coming to the team. So, I mean, obviously, if Harden stays, they're going to deal with that turmoil in that locker room with Harden and then wanting out. But then again, he has to deal with a new player, and that guy might have an ego too. So, I love Embiid. I like Embiid. But I feel bad for the man. I feel bad for him because Harden cries and he complains and he wants out. How awkward that be if he comes back? What I'm saying?
That's why I said you'd have to come out and make a statement, being I'm committed to the team. I don't know, him and Joel Embiid would have to make post a picture of them on Twitter hanging out on vacation or something to make me feel a little better about it.
Right.
I don't know if anybody would buy that. But yeah, all right, so cool answer, Pavel. Yeah, Ime's in Houston as the new coach.
I know Freddie, man. I know
I don't
Freddie.
feel like there's any. They make big moves, but those are moves like we've talked about it before. Gene's had a good breakdown on it, basically saying like these were moves that you make in a couple years when these guys are ready. Like Fred VanVleet on his like last year of his deal, like that's probably when this team is going to be at its best. You know, maybe this isn't a team that's not going to win now. You just want Ime to do whatever he can to make these guys better. Like I just understand that maybe this year might not be the year, but like Ime has a couple of years to try to make these guys right.
I think the only pressure on Ime might be with the young guys. Can he make them seem more
like if
mature
Jalen
on
Green,
the
if
court?
like Jalen Green was like bad in the media and a lot of stuff was coming out about him and he didn't have a great season, like maybe that would be your issue. You just want to see these guys just all do slightly better than last year, basically.
I mean, we can segue into the next one because, as Jordan said, he feels bad for old Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I chose this picture for a reason because he looks like a guy just pondering life. So he came out and basically said he wants to win a title, which obviously everybody was like, oh, does that mean he wants to get out of Philly? Is he trying to put pressure on the front office to make it happen in Philly? So I think to start off this conversation has to be, do you think Embiid wins a title in Philly?
I mean,
wait, well, what did he say? Like,
so basically, he came out and said he was like, winning is everything. I want to win a title if it's in Philadelphia or wherever.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Or wherever. He was like, I just want to win. I want to win a ring. That's like my number one goal.
I feel like he'll win a ring, but yeah, I'm sorry, Dylan. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, I mean, how many people really thought the Nuggets were gonna win when they won? How many people thought the Raptors were gonna win when they won? How many people thought the Bucks were gonna win when they won? It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of instance. I think it's possible. I think it's very possible, but just a matter of what they're gonna do there. It's gonna be rough. What are they going to get back for a potential trade for James Harden to the Clippers? Not really a lot, it seems like. What are you going to pair with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey to make something good? Would you have to potentially trade Tyrese Maxey to bring something in, or any of those young pieces? I know they probably wouldn't, but you have a lot of weird decisions to make, and not having James Harden on this team to get a package that won't be good. They're not going to get any superstar caliber players out of it. It makes you question, if it's possible. I don't know how many heartbreaking playoff losses Joel Embiid's going to want to take before he's like, I can't anymore. Send me to like Brooklyn, or send me to a team with a young point guard, or just young superstars, or different things like that. So it's possible, but right now I don't see a pathway. It's rough. I mean, I'm not sure what they could get, even if they wanted to trade Tobias Harris as well. It's rough. I mean, that James Harden contract's not ideal. Him only wanting to go to the Clippers doesn't make trying to get anything for him ideal either. So it's possible. I do like Nick Nurse a lot. I think he's a great coach. Obviously, he coached that Toronto's Raptors team to a championship, regardless of how you feel about that run or not. They still won. Nurse was a great coach. He won Coach of the Year multiple times. Who knows? I'm not sure if it's this year or next year, but I think it could be possible.
Okay. So for Jordan, question would be, because this is something I have in the back of my mind about Joel Embiid. Should we have like legit durability concerns about him and wonder necessarily how long of a career he probably will have? Because I do think that may affect how close he may get to a title in his career. Because when I look at Embiid, I don't see a guy who's going to be playing like late 30s. Maybe that's just me. But I mean, what do you think?
I'll answer your first question about I'll answer, I guess, Embiid's question, because I think that he will win a championship, but not in Philly. I think that, just like with the durability, and I'll tie that into the answer with this one. Like, I think the durability is just like, if you don't sign another, like, I like Maxey, I like Tobias, but it's like I feel bad for Embiid because I feel like all the pressure's on him he does his thing. He gives triple doubles. He
He to be a
does.
superstar.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's just I feel like he's wasting his time in Philly, and I think he'll be better valued on another team where he has maybe a two guy or like another star.
Can't you argue that Embiid's kind of done this to himself? I mean, this past year
Well,
they had a 3-2 lead and he
Philly,
couldn't close it out.
Philly is dealing with the same thing like Portland is with Lillard. Like Lillard wants good at Miami, but Portland is hesitant on dealing Dame because like they want assets just like Philly. They're not they probably want to trade him out, but they want to get another key valued asset to help him beat out. So they're not like in a rush to like get him out, but I would say they're taking their time to see what package is out there for Harden, just like they are with Dame. So I mean, I get where Maury's coming from, where it's like, yes, like if he stays, he stays. If he's out, he's out. But if he's out, we're gonna get some other assets. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Harden's gonna cry and do everything, and maybe go to the club with little baby and party and all that. But he can do all that. But I mean,
I have to get the fat suit on.
Philly is in a win mode now. You know what I'm saying? So they want to make sure, especially with like I said, you get the Celtics, Milwaukee, Miami, and I would say Philly. So they want to win now. So it's either Harden's gonna have to stay and just I don't know, or Philly's gonna have to get another star. It's a Harden.
So my pushback to that would be, so if they keep Harden and they basically run back the same team,
they ain't winning it.
Would anybody assume they're going to go any further than they did this year?
No, they're going to get bested by Boston Celtics.
Okay.
I mean, so it would be interesting with the Nick Nurse aspect, I would think.
Yeah, Nick Nurse, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it would be possible. Maybe he would be able to coach them how to close out that series, different things like that.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, at the end of the day, that 76ers team with James Harden and Joel Embiid and that last year's roster obviously was good enough to like compete. It's just they couldn't close out specific situations and struggled a lot. Was their big issue. And then it seems like they have a lot of parity in the locker room as well, because as soon as the offseason happened, it was like James Harden wants out. Like he hated Doc Rivers. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know if I called it on this show or my show on the JJO Sports Talk, but I think I said it was either Doc was going to be let go or Embiid's leaving. I don't think he's leaving this season, but I
all knew Doc was not going to be welcome back in Philly.
Well, it's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them too. And I just don't see. I feel like Embiid will strive. Well, not strive because he's already striving on the Philly, but I think he'll win a championship on another team with another superstar. But then again, I didn't think about the whole Nick Nurse aspect of different coach in town. But that's why I say he has the most pressure. I think because he's dealing with all this. I mean, he got thrown to the fire with this whole situation. Like he has to deal with these players and deal with the situation. Obviously, he don't have to sign the contracts, but he has to deal with and kind of like mentor these players to But I think my prediction is Embiid is going to leave after the season, and they're going to focus on Tyrese Maxey and build around him. I think Embiid's out of there after the season. I think
because that kind of was going to lead to a question I had, because if you keep Embiid, you trade out Harden, so you're elevating Maxey to the number 2 guy. Right. But Maxey still needs some development, some room to kind of grow into the player he will eventually be.
Right.
Will that intersect with the time that Embiid is still MVP level Embiid? And I think that's another question Philly has to ask himself. Sure, it's easy to trade out Harden and say, oh, we're getting better by subtracting whatever Harden is at this point. But now you're making everybody else's role increase a little bit. So Maxey's your number 2. I guess Harris will have to be the number 3 as
Number three,
opposed to
yeah.
the 4 option? And can those two guys handle that added pressure while maintaining this level with an Embiid who just won MVP? And that's where the whole durability comes in. Let's say Embiid's only this Embiid for like another, I don't know, 3-4 seasons.
Right.
It could lead to the fact that by the time Maxi's ready, Embiid might be a shell of himself. And I think that's the tricky part with a guy as big as Embiid, the pressure that's on his body year in and year out, which we see play on the perimeter more and more because of that. But I don't know. Embiid is an interesting player when it comes to like how do you necessarily win with him? Because like if he leaves Philly, where would you say he would go that would automatically become the top contenders for the title?
Now I'll trade him for freaking DeAndre Ayton. Put him with KD and Booker.
Nah, that's a lot. Nah. I do like you'd have to trade him to the West, probably, wouldn't you?
Or maybe Memphis, maybe with Ja.
Yeah, I was thinking Memphis. I thought Miami, but I was like, no way there would be like a Bam Joel Embiid trade. There's no way like Miami would trade Joel back into Philadelphia would trade Joel back into the division. I do like a team like New Orleans. Like maybe if they decide Zion really isn't it, you get a team of like Brandon Ingram, Joel Embiid. If you can get a lot of like Herb Jones, Trent Murphy can progress well. You still have Dyson Daniels. I'm not sure if you would have to give up CJ McCollum. Of course, you'd have to give up some of those young pieces, some picks, but you could maybe do something there. It would have been cool to see him on Portland with Dame. That would have been an interesting combo. Definitely would have been a situation that would have progressed them a lot to be maybe a contender. Other than that, it just all depends. All these teams are really good. Minnesota would overpay him and keep him just to play like a small forward. They would run Gobert, Townsend.
I've heard. I mean, I don't know if he would win a championship here, but I heard the Knicks could be of his services. But
yeah, that would be interesting. I just don't know how I feel about retrading him back in the East. It feels rough.
Yeah, because Philly wouldn't want to see possibly a playoff series going up against wherever.
Maybe after LeBron's in LA, go to the Lakers, man. I'm joking, but hey, I mean,
the Rockets would be interesting. Like you have a lot of young pieces on that Rockets team. If you could like weed out some of the ones you'd be willing to try to get Joel Embiid there, make a package with like Sengun, some couple picks, maybe like KPJ, another young piece. Be interesting.
Yeah, because obviously if they traded Embiid after trading Harden, like it wouldn't necessarily be a full rebuild, but it had to be some years of retooling. Now, bringing up New Orleans, can you imagine as a Sixers fan, you dealt with those years of Ben Simmons, and then now you're going to deal with Zion?
Yeah, I imagine.
Can handle that.
Yeah, no, that'd probably not be something they'd be happy with, but I think they'd be happier if they got like Herb Jones a part of that deal or like Dyson Daniels. They'd be like, okay, that's fine. We'll work with that.
Yeah.
So Mo brought up the Jimmy Butler leaving.
Yeah, that was the end of the era. That was the end of the era for sure. Yeah, that was the end of that era.
Don't do it, Coach Udoka. He's already not aging well. See, that's kind of what I'm talking about with the Embiid durability part. I'm kind of scared to see what kind of player Embiid is in like 4 years. Like,
yeah,
it might be rough.
About what? Cool. About what? Freddie and
Because he's talking about Embiid in LA. Like,
I mean, that could be a plan if LeBron, because we know he's going to be out wherever his son goes, So, can that be a plan?
On the front court of Embiid and AD, or would you assume AD is going in the trade package?
Probably AD in the trade package.
Nah, that would never happen. I'm not sure we'll ever see a point where we'll see superstar go for superstar.
I mean, I think, to be honest, we can debate it probably another time, but I think that Embiid is probably more durable than AD.
Hey, man, that's probably... We're not going to argue if you're going to talk crap on one of your fellow Lakers.
But no, I think that, I feel like Mo, Freddie, and all of us, we would love to have Embiid rather than AD, like, once LeBron,
Probably.
he's,
I mean, he is a
know?
better player. I mean, no offense to AD. He doesn't have any MVPs. He has a ring.
Like
but...
Mo, I know you're in here, man. Do you agree with me on that? Like, if
But isn't AD kind of another player that you might wonder how he's going to age?
Yeah.
Because he's already only
Yeah.
30, and the way that his body is right now, what's AD going to look like at age 33, 34, 35?
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one. I mean, I had to throw Zion in the graphic, I guess. But so looking also into next season, and we obviously cannot root. Oh, well, I mean, we're obviously going to root for our teams that we root for.
Mm-hmm.
What other team outside of your fan base has you the most excited to watch them next season? So I put up Oklahoma City here. You got Cleveland. You got New Orleans.
Wait, can you say that question again? This what
So-
teams
so
outside
just
your
So
like
fan
a
base?
basically,
fan,
if just
what's
like
another
as a
team
fan,
that you're excited to
what team
watch?
would you be like secretly rooting for? Being
Rooting for?
like, like go Lakers at the end of the day, but like,
But like
I wouldn't
low-key,
mind
I'm
that
like,
team being pretty good.
oh man, I mean, y'all can go. I gotta think on that.
For me, it's kind of simple. I think Oklahoma City. I bought into their youth movement. I think next year they take a step. I'm a big SGA fan. I like Giddey's game. I want to see Holmgren with those guys, how that looks. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the Lou Dort workout stuff. The dude looks like a linebacker. And they have the Williamses. They're both Jalen Williams.
Both Jalen Williams.
I just think that they could be a problem next year. They could do the same Sacramento jump, and I would not be surprised at all. So Oklahoma City is definitely the team for me that, outside the Celtics, I kind of want to see them do well.
For me, one team I like both the Summer League championship teams, the Rockets and the Cavs. I think both of those guys have a great youth movement going in there. It's weird to think the Cavs, the team has a third seed, and having Donovan Mitchell has a lot of good young talent there, but they do. Evan Mobley's really good. We saw what their Summer League team did. Having his brother Isaiah there obviously seems like a plus as well. Amani Bates. They spent a lot of money in free agency. Getting someone like Max Strus is going to definitely be really interesting there. Re-signing Karis LeVert was pretty big. And then on the Rockets aspect, you have a lot of young talent there with a championship caliber coach. So he's definitely going to make a lot of these guys play a lot better. So they're going to be fun to watch. But the number one team I think that could be really fun as well is the Pacers. I'm a big fan of Tyrese Halliburton. We know how Gene is with Benedict Mathurin. I really like Benedict Mathurin as well. They have a lot of good young set of forwards. I've always been a big Miles Turner fan. I think this team is going to play some beautiful, just well-ran basketball. A lot of their games going to look very fluid. I think we're going to see a lot of ball movement. I think we're going to see a lot of the good flashy passes. Big scoring, and I think this Pacers team is going to be really good. They're one of my favorite teams, just thinking that's going to be a sleeper team or make a Kings-like jump like last year. Of course, I love OKC. Living in Oklahoma, a lot of people behind here are behind the OKC youth movement as well. They like it. I feel like that team could be scary. Shai Gilgeous is an NBA first-team player. Josh Giddey's really good, someone who can get you triple doubles, which is not really something you'd expect maybe out of Josh Giddey. Like you said, the Williamses, they still have Lou Dort, they have Pokusevski, Chet Holmgren's coming back, and then just picks and picks and picks just to keep adding on to that. So, yeah, OKC's definitely very big in this aspect as well too.
Okay. Jordan, you got your team yet?
Yes, obviously y'all know I'm a Laker fan, so that's I'll support them. But a team that I'll support, low profile. I do want to see the Thunder because I do want to see what Chet Holmgren can bring to the table with Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous. But I'm gonna have to go with. It's a tough one.
There's gonna be a lot of fun teams next year.
Yeah, like the Spurs with Wemby, see how they obviously they're in a rebuild, but I guess the team I would say The Miami Heat. They were they were in the finals.
Yeah, they're gonna be interesting.
They're a Dame piece away from getting Dame. It doesn't matter when, and what matter, what package. Jordan would shoot with the Lakers. But yeah, I think that's a team to watch. I mean, they're kind of like they have Bam, but they're like a big stretch four away from being one of the good teams in the East. Because Bam can't really shoot the three ball, but
they're a whole roster away of being a good team in the East now. Jimmy Butler and Bam, and then I guess Tyler Hero.
That's the team that I'm looking out for in the East. That'll probably be my team I'm rooting for because they still got Spoelstra as a head coach. Like I said, they're a Dame piece away from getting Dame. So it's a matter of winning what they get. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Bam, Butler, and Bam. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bam, Butler, and Bam, but
that'd be a TikTok reel, y'all. Butler, Bam. There you go.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of leaning Josh's way here.
Yeah,
I'm not buying into Miami next year. That's with or without Dame, to be honest.
I would buy. Maybe this is because of Damian Lillard's like one of my all-time favorite players. It was like the first favorite player I had watching basketball. So I had I might have a little bit of bias. I'm buying in a little bit of Dame's there. Just the concept of Jimmy Butler being able to take over a game, or Damian Lillard to be able to take up. Both of those guys can do it, and both of them are actually seriously trying. I feel like that could be just a nuclear 1-2 option. Like both those guys could drop 50 a game, and probably not much you could do about it.
Right.
But just looking at some of the East teams, I'm just Indiana is a team I'm definitely high on.
Maybe Pistons with Cade Cunningham.
The Pistons are fun. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with Cade, but the Pistons are fun. I really like that roster.
And they got one of the Asor brothers or the Ahmad.
They got Asor Thompson.
Or the Thompson brothers. So yeah, it's, like you said, Kyle, it's gonna be a lot of exciting teams. So you can't really root for all of them, but it's gonna be some fun basketball to watch. You still got the Kings in there. Damn, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sacramento. I was gonna be like, I just want to keep lighting that beam. I just want to keep doing it, like the atmosphere.
Beam, baby.
Like last year, if I had to out of any of the first round teams to go watch outside of the Hawks, I probably would have been there for that Kings Warrior series. Like, I imagine the atmosphere in Sacramento or probably Golden State was crazy, but especially Sacramento. Like, I imagine it would have been fun there.
I was gonna say the Magic with Boncaro.
So I do like the Magic. I just I don't know a lot about their not saying I don't know about their roster. I just don't know the progression of their roster, how it's gonna go. Like Franz Wagner is good, Paulo Banchero is good, but outside of that, you have a logjam of guards who haven't been super great. Fultz has splashed. Suggs hasn't been too good. You drafted Anthony Black. You still have Cole Anthony there. Seems like you have a lot of different guard options there that none of them have necessarily, outside of Anthony Black, of course, because he's a rookie, made a big name for themselves on this roster. Jonathan Isaac's still unsigned. Wendell Carter's good. I don't know. I don't feel like they just have a win now roster, or I don't know. I just don't know how that team's going to progress outside Banchero probably averaging 30 next season.
Right. I think I looked at their roster and I was just like they have Markelle Fultz. I think they have Michael Carter Williams, which
they still. I always forget he's on that roster.
On the roster, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, having 4 point guards there, young point guards, probably just there as a vet.
Yeah, I think he's only like 30 or something.
Yeah.
So
he literally had one great rookie season and then just dipped out.
Yeah, it's an interesting roster in Orlando. I think another team where they need to decide on some of the young talent and move it out, because like you said,
trade Jalen Suggs to Atlanta. I want Jalen Suggs.
Okay. Wait, not Key. Cool. You said go back up to that comment where he was like Jordan will be something about the Lakers or something. There was a comment. No, not that. It was like I think there was a comment before that the Lakers. I just want to understand what he meant by Jordan will shoot the Lakers name in real quick.
Yeah, because
Oh,
we were saying outside of your fan base, and you were like, I'm a Lakers fan, so you said you got to shoot the Lakers name out there.
But another team I have that I'm curious to see. Obviously, they didn't make any major moves is the Knicks. With Brunson, I still kind of had. I mean, they do get they did get Steven Tincho. Or I know I'm butchering the name.
Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
Got the Nova boys back together.
So I mean, that's a good trio. But I mean, they still have Randall there. But it's like
that's my problem with the Knicks.
Yeah, that's why I was so hesitant of like saying the Knicks name because but I think that they have a good like trio. Rock comes here for the
and they still have Fournier.
Yeah,
how's that guy still on that roster?
Well, he doesn't want to be. It sounds like he's kind of like. It sounds like he's the. I mean, like it was crazy what he said. He said like him and Derrick Rose like looked at each other and they were like, "What are we doing here?" Like that's kind of wild. Like I don't know what Thibodeau's doing. He just never seemed to be like a coach that a lot of people like. He makes questionable calls all the time. I mean, look at Cam Reddish there, for example. Imagine trading for him and then just not doing anything with him at all.
I guess so. No, I mean we all love Banchero. It's just
I'm all about Banchero. I'm all about Banchero. It's just the roster around him. I think he could literally with that roster drop 30 points.
Yeah.
And like just due progression, I think he's really good. I like Banchero a lot. But
I like Banchero. He's just on a support team.
But I think it's only like his big supporting cast is Franz Wagner, who I like a lot as well, who I think is really good. But outside of that, those two aren't ready to take anything over yet.
Right.
They could be maybe a sneaky play-in team. That's it, in my opinion, for the Magic. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows? If you look at the Magic of like 5-10 years ago, you had teams of like Aaron Aflalo, DJ Augustine making the playoffs for the Magic. So it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, like the coolest point. I love Banchero. I mean, like obviously I'm a Duke fan. Thank God we don't have John Suggs in the chat because he's a UNC fan. He's always picking on me for my
Go Tar Heels
Duke sweatshirt when even though this is my podcast sweatshirt. I don't have that sweatshirt on today, but I have much love for Banchero. Just he's on a subpar team with like Dylan said, like, other than Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs and maybe like Cole Anthony. I mean, they got rid of Bol. I mean, Jonathan Isaac has been hurt, so
he's not even there. To answer Josh's question, I know he asked.
Yeah, Wendell Carter, he's nice. Yeah, as a center. But I mean, obviously he can't control where he gets drafted to, but he just got drafted to like a bad team. But they're on a rebuild. They can get maybe another star in there. I don't know.
Man, I wanted to be really high on the Magic as well too. It's like that's a team I want to see be really good, but it's just rough. Like cool, I feel like just looking at the guards that they have there, like they should have hit on one of them. Like Fultz should have progressed, and if he shouldn't, like you drafted Cole Anthony in the first round, and if he didn't, like you drafted Jalen Suggs, and it just seems like they're not super confident in any three of them, so they drafted Anthony Black to just kind of like do it again. This one might work. And he was very impressive in the summer league, but
it's going to be a question like, how many minutes does he get next season with those guys you just named? They've needed to consolidate their young players for years now, and they just seem like they don't want to do it.
Yeah,
because like you said, if you believed in Suggs, then Cole Anthony had to go. But if you weren't going to move them, then Fultz had to go. Just throwing guards at the bench and hoping eventually you'll figure it out, that's just going to stunt their growth, the growth of somebody else.
Agreed.
And for some reason,
agreed. And even like for this off season, for example, they could have done something to unload one of them. And it's like, nope, we're just rerunning everything back. I mean, they signed Joe Ingles, who was your sneaky free agent signing. But outside of that, I mean, like, he's going to be cool. Like, he's probably going to come in there and teach, like, Banchero some shooting tips. He's probably going to come in there and help Franz Wagner shoot. I mean, he's a good shooting guy. But outside of that, like, he's not anything that's going to, like, help this Magic's team over the hump outside of, like, probably, a couple years down the line, like 2 years later when his contract's over. Like, probably everyone on that team can shoot a little better.
Yeah, maybe. So Rod, I mean, Lakers will be the best team in California next season.
Man, it's going to be interesting. I do like what the Lakers did with their roster, but it's just interesting. It feels like they kind of just like got they upgraded slightly, like better at just little positions, but it's like I'm not sure if it's enough to win a championship. Like Gabe Vincent's cool, but okay, like Rui Hachimura is cool, but I wasn't like super big and keen on him getting his money. Like D'Angelo Russell, like I'm a big D'Angelo Russell fan. He's also one of my other like players I really like, but I'm not sure if he's going to be an answer there as well. Austin Reeves is cool. That's an Oklahoma guy, but it feels like they got slightly better at a lot of spots, but like not anything that makes me think they're going to beat the Nuggets at all or anything like that. Best team in California? Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure how Golden State is. I feel like Golden State's going to be better without Jordan Poole. If people believe it or not, I feel like they're just going to kind of have like an old school vibe back in that locker room or whatever it is again, and kind of just hunker down and be the Golden State kind of old. I know they're all a little bit older, and then I don't know what's up with the Kings. You don't know if they're going to be better or worse this season.
Right, because they stuck
very
up
possible
on teams last year. This year, we got to see if they can do it now that people know what they're all about. So I definitely agree with that.
But you also got to remember, looking at the Lakers, like they had that deep playoff run, but they were a play-in team, and that's what it was. And that's not anything on them. You look at the Heat. The Heat made it to the finals as a play-in team, but it's like, yeah, they may have made the good roster moves, but like, who knows if this team's going to even be a regular season team? Like, Anthony Davis is probably going to rest at some point. LeBron's going to rest a couple of games. They're probably going to lose some ones that they probably should win. They might be like a 4th or 5th seed, but still make it to the conference finals. That's because the playoffs is when it matters.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if Freddie has the receipts, but I mean, I know we were a playing team, but no one in the chat really had us going.
We're not rehashing this again.
Yeah, we all said you made the play-in. You made the play-in. It happened.
I mean, and we got past that.
We're not doing it.
Hey, cool for you.
Right, Freddie, man.
No,
like, we had the receipts, right?
No, you don't.
You all went home like everyone else except the Nuggets.
I know Freddie has some screenshots of the chat.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You all went home like everybody else did except the Nuggets.
Freddie doctored those chats. So Josh said, "Can anyone tell me what a Laker is?" Well, I mean, they're in Minneapolis, land of the lake, 1,000 lakes, so it made sense. The LA just kept the name.
Sacramento Queens, Golden State Blouses.
That's funny.
Rod. Rod will be better than the Flakers. Okay. All right, son. I don't have any more topics, but we got to get into our grid game.
Yes, sir.
I think quickly becoming one of the good parts to end the show.
I like it. I'm enjoying these grids. They're fun.
So while I'm pulling that up, I think it's something we probably should have said during the NFL thing. It's kind of funny that D-Hop found a new home.
Oh, yeah, the D-Hop
before Damian Lillard did.
Yeah. I mean, just to get a brief thing while you're pulling it up, what do you guys feel about like the D-Hop signing? Like, of course we're glad he's getting his bank. Of course, we're glad he's getting his money. But for me, it's like that's what it just seems like at the end of the day. Like Tennessee's good, and he probably looked at Tennessee as like they're in a very winnable division. Like Jacksonville's good, but Jacksonville's really the only threat in the AFC South right now. I mean, look, not long ago, I mean, I've said this in the chat a couple of times. Tennessee was a first overall seed. Granted, they got bounced right away, but doesn't change the fact that on roster that was a first overall seed. I'm pretty sure they still had AJ Brown there that year that happened. So maybe D-Hop kind of can put some of that magic back in there. I like it, but it seems like at the end of the day, maybe like Kansas City, Buffalo weren't really interested in trying to throw in him some money he wanted. He saw Tennessee was going to give him a pretty good offer. I think $16 million a year is really good for D-Hop. He's worth that money. I think just overall, like maybe he just didn't see a market he liked. And Tennessee was very enticing. I mean, if you looked at his visits when he was there, he stayed a couple of days. He had a good rapport. The teams were talking. Him and the team was talking even after his meeting. So maybe he just had a lasting impression there. And they gave him good money to come there, too.
Go ahead, Jordan. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like this is a WWE promo. If you want to tag Jory Williams and her partner in crime, Jay Jones, in the chat, come on down to the ring, cause, hey man, like I'm happy for D-Hop. I am. I truly am. He found his home. He got the money. 2 years, like $32 million. But come on, man. You had Josh Allen to go to. You had Mahomes.
No, we don't know that. Like Jory said, like maybe none of them offered him anything. And at the end of the day, if like not this isn't supposed to be bad talk about the Patriots, but if it was like the Patriots and Tennessee were the only two teams offering him like big money, and he was like, I think I want more than $9 million or $10 million a year.
What was that whole list of like the QBs he wanted to go to? Lamar.
Yeah, maybe if that's the QBs he would prefer to go to if he got an offer that he liked.
Put Tannehill on the list.
Like at the end of the day, if I was like, for example, if I was DeAndre Hopkins, like I would love to go play with Patrick Mahomes. You see who I've been playing with for the last couple of years?
I'm gonna tag her and Jay myself.
Like, if I was D-Hop, I would be like outside of Kyler Murray because I have some Kyler Murray bias, but I'd be like, you seen the quarterbacks I've played in recent years? That's not Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray. Garbage. Yeah, I want to play with better quarterbacks, but that's only if they would give me the compensation I think I'm worth, or like at least make a deal. And maybe teams just thought like his number was far off. I don't imagine that Kansas City and Buffalo weren't at least in contact with him. Maybe like they just had some phone conversations, couldn't find a number they could agree upon. Maybe they were just way too far off and they were like, hey, like go get your bag, man. Understandable. That's just not something we can offer you.
Yeah, I mean, Cool's right. D-Hop, that's why I'm not mad at him. I'm not, D-Hop took the bag. I don't blame him. He got the bag.
On the inside, you had dreams of OBJ and D-Hop running down the sidelines for Lamar.
My QB said he wanted D-Hop and Odell Beckham. He got one of the two. So, I mean, I'm happy.
You get one.
You got the worst of the two as well.
I mean, if I was D-Hop, I'd rather play with Lamar than Tannehill, but that's just my issue.
I mean, fair. But would you rather play with Lamar or Tannehill for $12 less million or $10 less million yearly?
And plus, Mike Vrabel and D-Hop had a connection. I mean, that's understandable. Yeah. Tennessee is they got the good barbecue, they got the concerts. I mean, that's
like I said, he probably had a great free agent visit,
but he did stay in New England for twice though, or 2 days in a row. So I'm surprised he didn't.
Well, maybe New England offered him less. It could have been one of those situations where he was just deciding.
Maybe he was like, I don't like Mac Jones. He's trash.
I don't know, man.
I
felt a little sour.
I'm trolling, Kyle.
I felt a little sour about D-Hop to the Patriots when they gave Devontae Parker that extension. Like, I was like, I don't think this signing's probably going to happen. Like, he's going to go elsewhere.
Yeah. Yes, Jory, you recall.
If you look at, Jory, it was not me. It was all Jordan. He wants you to hear.
But she came in after late because we're done talking about D-Hop now. So
I'll keep it going. Because what I think is what Dylan's saying, if you look at that division, that's kind of appealing as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, say what you want about Tannehill and Tennessee. The only team you're really worried about is Jacksonville. With Jacksonville, they had the one good year. We got to see, can they back it up with another good year? At least with Tennessee, we kind of know what kind of team they're going to be.
I just don't know why
Derrick Henry and a lot of play action, I think. Mm-hmm. And D-Hop's going to find some space. He'll make some plays. And
no, you're good, Jory. You're good, Jory.
Yeah, you're good.
I was just saying that, like, I don't get why Jay Jones and Jory were coming at me for saying that the Titans will come in second in that division. That's not really something. I mean, I think the Jags
kind of came about it in a way like Tannehill's not that great.
No, but it's true because like Titans, they were 7-10 last year. Jags were like what, 9.
And let's not forget they had to play Malik Willis, who doesn't know how to play quarterback in the NFL yet for a couple of those games.
Tannehill
was injured.
Can the Jags control that? I mean, Jags. They
No,
had a
the
full
Jags
roster.
can't control that. But at the end of the day, that is a reason. That is a reason they made the playoffs. That is a reason Jacksonville did make the playoffs.
To the mix with the Jags.
Because let's not forget, like Tennessee was like leading for a while in the division still before Jacksonville ended up taking over. Like Tennessee led last season for a little bit, and some injuries and bad luck let Jacksonville take over because they had a great second half towards the end of the season.
Right. It's the way I look at it. I mean, this going to the season, I think Jaguars we're going to take the division. Titans should come in second, and then it's going to be a dogfight between Colts and Texans. I mean, it's two rookie quarterbacks. I mean, that's fair to say.
It is.
Go Kevin Byard. I like Kevin Byard a lot. There we go.
Oh, here we go with the feather brain. All right. We are not as bad as you like to think. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying that, I mean, look at that.
I like that Tennessee defense a lot.
He had, I mean, hey, Jory, maybe you can double check this for me. But Tannehill wasn't on that QB that he wanted to go to first.
So it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're putting so much stock in that QB list. If I'm a free agent, I want to go play with the best quarterbacks. If someone's going to ask me what quarterbacks I want to go play with.
Even Pac-Man Jones, a player that was close to him, that he went to the Ravens.
Okay. He wants to probably go to a lot of different places that weren't the Texans anymore, or any teams with crappy quarterbacks that just had crappy offices.
He's money chasing. He's money chasing. Okay,
so I don't think it's money chasing at the end of the day as well, because if you look at the Tennessee's front office or just like their coaching or different things like that, what's something that they've had for the last couple of years? They've had a foundation. They haven't had a revolving door of different pieces coming in and out, at least when it comes to the personnel and staff and different things like that. He wants some like foundation. That's oh
man,
bro. I'm a Patriots fan. I wouldn't even say that.
Is Matt Jones better than Tannehill?
No, I'd take Tannehill over Jones.
I think they're very close in the rankings. If you have one over the other, it's probably one spot between them.
I did mention that. I mentioned Vrabel did have connection with D-Hop, but I don't know. I don't know about Tim Kelly. I don't know.
Exactly. There are a lot of different connections there.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wants the money and he doesn't care about rings. It's all right.
But it's also, I mean, this is what I'm trying to explain. I don't think it's necessarily just about the money. Like, I think people look at it and it's like he's just money chasing and that's all it is. It's like, well, maybe they did give him a bigger offer than everybody else, but like he has connections. They probably made it feel like it was a good situation. Like the Houston Texans front office wasn't the best. The Arizona Cardinals front office and how they treated people wasn't the best. So if Tennessee made him feel like he was at home and he could actually just enjoy football and not have to worry about so many different outside factors and pieces, maybe outside of like, hey, is Derrick Henry gonna be injured this week? Maybe, if he has some injury issues, that might be your biggest issue as a team. Like, that's okay. That's okay. He doesn't want the drama from Kyler Murray. He doesn't want the uncertainty of that Texans front office and whatever they were doing there. I mean, look what they traded D-Hop for in the first place. Nothing. So they probably didn't value him when he was there anyways as much as they probably should have.
Yeah, and plus I saw something on Twitter that, with the Odell signing kind of like it kind of prevented D-Hop from going to the Chiefs because like he got $18 million, I think, Odell, for 2 years, I think, whatever. So like he kind of like prevented D-Hop from going to the Chiefs because that was one of the teams that he was going to go to. But
I mean, if he really wanted to be in Kansas City, they would have found.
Yeah, he would have took a pickup. Yeah. If at the end of the day, if he was like, I want to go play with Patrick Mahomes, that's the quarterback I want to go play with, he would have took a pay cut to go play with Patrick Mahomes.
But I do agree with you, Dylan, that, out of the Houston and first the Texans, then the Cardinals. I mean, I think that, I don't know much about the front office of the Titans, but but I wonder what the sales pitch was. Obviously, he got drafted to the Texans, but I wonder what that sales pitch was for Arizona because, obviously, I mean, I wonder what that sales pitch was to keep him, I'm pretty sure they said, oh, this is your home. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder, I know he got suspended for PEDs, I think, for that 1 year, or half the season, but I wonder what that sales pitch was oh, D-Hop, we're going to, we're going to give you the keys to Arizona.
He was traded to Arizona.
Yeah, he was
We don't
traded. I
necessarily,
mean,
we don't
obviously
necessarily
he
know if
probably
he
had
was
a
a free agent, he
say-so.
would have gone there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he might have been able to have like a say-so, but if it was like, hey, you want to go to Arizona or do you want to go to like New Orleans or Atlanta or something like that? I mean, you got to take the latter and be like, Kyler Murray's pretty good. Like maybe we could do something here in Arizona.
Right,
So,
right. I wonder why it was just 2 years. Maybe this, like maybe he knew what the QB situation is.
I mean, maybe obviously we saw like the NFL had like their little like facility check, and the Cardinals placed the worst. I mean, Kyler Murray being injured doesn't help. All the drama around your quarterback doesn't help, especially when you're coming off of years where you just have more. Your quarterback had a lot of drama surrounding around him, or just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he probably looked at it and went like, maybe Tannehill's not the best situation. I'll be able to, work with some younger receivers like Treylon Burks, different receivers they have there. They have a plan in place, or at least trying to have a plan in place for quarterback with Will Levis or Malik Willis. Gives him time to work with whoever they maybe want to move on from, like next year or whatever. And even with Tannehill being there, it's not like he's going to be the end all be all quarterback there when things are said and done. Maybe it's a year of Tannehill, and who knows what big quarterback maybe want to be traded. You have another year of D-Hop there. Maybe something else could happen. Maybe Kyler Murray Kyler Murray to Tennessee. There you go. Him and D-Hop team back up.
Yeah, I'm sure he's waiting for that day. All right, so let me know when you can see the grid. I feel like it's good enough time to go ahead with this. So we'll start with the NBA one. Although you did say we want to do MLB, I'll have to find out. But we got the Sixers, T-Wolves, Pistons. We got Suns, Clippers, and the Blazers.
For players, right?
Yes, this one strictly players.
Okay. Suns, I think I should know this, man.
So yeah, we can kind of start anywhere on here.
Okay, so I already got someone for Suns Timberwolves.
Okay.
This dude signed this. I think he was already on the team before, but I know he re-signed or signed this offseason. Josh Okogie.
Okay.
Was he on Philly? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, you said Minnesota and Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Make sure I got it the right box. All right.
Yeah, Josh Okogie.
Man, I want to say for Philadelphia and Phoenix is Landry Shamet. But I don't think Shamet played for.
No. Okay. That's right.
That works.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if he played in Philly. That kind of threw me off.
For Philadelphia and Portland, Matisse Thybulle. This is kind of a weird little list of names right now. I'm not sure. Uh-oh.
Did it not do it?
It should. Thybulle played there.
What is going on with this website? Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Blazers, Blazers,
Pistons and Blazers, T-Wolves.
Are these like current players or like people who?
I think it's just any. You can have any. You just gotta think. And then, man, why do I feel like someone was traded from the 76ers to the Clippers? Was that like? No, it wasn't like Terrace Mann or anything like them. Well, he was traded, wasn't he?
Wasn't PJ Tucker?
Nah. Ooh, I mean,
from Clippers to Philadelphia. Or I'm tripping.
I think PJ Tucker and with the Clippers. I know Clippers, Pistons.
PJ Tucker has been everywhere, so I don't know.
I got one. I was thinking of Robert Covington. I was thinking of just a random small forwards, but Rocco, he's definitely 76ers, Clippers.
Yeah, so this one, like I said, Blake Griffin did that.
Yes, that is true.
Old Blake Griffin year in Detroit. Suns, Pistons. That's an interesting one.
Suns, Pistons.
Because Pistons are a team that's had a lot of turnover. So where do they cross?
I'm trying to think. I thought of Rodney Magruder for like Pistons. Was that Pistons Clippers? Yeah, I thought of Rodney Magruder for that.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. Man.
Clippers T-Wolves as well. Was Mike Conley with the Clippers?
No, he wasn't.
He was not.
I was thinking
What's up,
Conley as
Control?
well. Austin Rivers. I'm pretty sure
Clippers.
Clippers T-Wolves. Yep, I pulled that one out. Trying to think of Trailblazers Timberwolves.
Was Phoenix and Detroit, was it Josh Jackson?
I guess yeah. Yeah, Josh Jackson did that. He was drafted by Phoenix.
He's there now, yeah. A lot of Jacksons there. Couldn't even get the name. The disrespect.
Both with the Trailblazers. Ugh, man.
Ooh. What about
Trailblazers Timberwolves seems like
Isn't that I'm not sure if he's still on the team. The dude Collins on the Portland.
Zach Collins? Nah.
He didn't play for Timberwolves.
Nah, he played with.
This is an easy one. I feel like
You
it
said Blazers. Blazers Pistons is an easy one. I'm just trying to think of like legends now.
Yeah. Portland and Detroit.
What about Portland for Detroit?
Oh.
What about Brandon Roy?
I know who it is.
Who is it?
Pistons is wait a minute.
Wait.
I was thinking Chauncey Billups, but then for some reason I don't think he played in Portland.
I think Portland to Detroit is Brandon Roy.
Portland to Detroit. I was thinking Brandon Roy too, but the Detroit part threw me off with him.
I think he played with him in the later years. You just check, see if it's there.
I don't know about that one. Brandon Roy?
No.
You. So we don't get the immaculate grid, but So Cottrell says super max player has played for both.
Jeremy Grant. Oh my God, Jeremy Grant!
Yeah,
wow.
right.
He said Supermax, and I was like, who just got paid by the Trailblazers? Jeremy Grant did. Wow.
I was not even thinking about that. And then Portland, Minnesota. Easy. That one's still. Yeah, I can't believe we missed the Jeremy Grant. That's wild.
Isaiah Ryder played for Portland for a little bit, didn't he?
I don't know. Let me type it in because it's over, but he might have actually. I'll double check that.
Man. Oh, did it mess up?
Yeah, Ryder. I remember him with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I remembered him with the Timberwolves, but I feel like he played like 2 or 3 seasons with the Portland, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. Yep. That would've
okay,
worked.
There we go. Phew.
All right, so let's try the NFL one.
Ready.
So we got Rams, Bears, Vikings with the Jags, Texans, and the Raiders.
Okay. So I already got Bears, Raiders, Khalil Mack, of course.
Yes,
and then I have another one as well. For the Rams, Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey. For the Bears Jaguars, I'm not sure if this. Deshaun Gibson, didn't he play for the Bears? I feel like Deshaun Gibson played for the Bears, but I know he played for Jacksonville, but maybe he didn't play for the Bears. That could be wrong. Don't put that. That's wrong.
Wasn't it Jaguars? Wasn't it in Minnesota? Wasn't it Jared Allen? That the big white the white
The
lineman.
defensive end?
Yeah.
Did he play?
I know he played.
I know he played in
Minnesota.
Kansas City.
I know
I know he played in Minnesota.
Josh Allen.
Or Josh Allen, or like the big dude, he's a defensive lineman.
No. That Josh Allen, he's still on Jacksonville. He's still on Jacksonville.
But no, Jared Allen. He played for Minnesota.
He played for Kansas City and Minnesota, but I'm not sure if he ever played for Jacksonville.
Try it out though. I'm curious.
No, we don't want to ruin our grid if we're not confident.
I mean, that's a good choice. That's a good name.
Jared Allen in Jacksonville. We'll save that one. We'll get the rest of them and we'll come back to that one. Put that one, at least if it's last, we're like, oh, okay.
Jags, Bears.
Well, Jags, Texans, I'm thinking. I mean, not Jags. I mean, Rams, Texans, I'm thinking Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, bro. The one Brandon Cooks, the one we had last week. I mean, you can put Brandon Cooks for any one of these spots.
Yeah, pretty much. Rams, Raiders.
Rams, Raiders. Oh.
God, this is crazy.
Rams, Raiders. Trying to think. Bears. Laquan Treadwell for no, never mind. I feel like Treadwell had Laquan Treadwell for the Jacksonville, Minnesota. There we go. I almost thought of him for the Bears, but then I was thinking Minnesota receivers, not Bears receivers.
Oh, I think we have him now.
Oh, yeah, that's your Jared Allen one. Sorry.
Well,
no. I think we signed him.
Treadwell. I think he is with the Ravens. I believe.
That's Lamar Jackson's cousin, I think. Or no, wait, is it or no? I think it's Rocky Sin. I don't know. One of those.
I remember you saying that for somebody. I think it was Rocky Sin.
Rocky Sin.
Let's see. Bears, Texans. I'm thinking so many NFL players.
It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't.
Did Deonta Foreman play for the Texans?
Yes, I believe he did.
I feel like he was drafted by the Texans. I know he went to college at Texas, but that could be potentially one for the Bears Texans.
So Jared Allen, he did play for Minnesota and Chicago, so that's not
okay.
So yeah, one of those.
We could go with the Foreman because I feel like I remember him with the Texans jersey.
Yeah, try Foreman.
Yeah, Deonta Foreman.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bears, Jags. Who played for the Bears and the Jags?
For some reason, I don't know if he played for the Jags. Robert Quinn did not play for the Jags.
Didn't Allen Robinson play for the Bears and Jags?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good one. I always forget about that Jags stint, but then I remember he was like such a good receiver, and then everyone's like, "Why are you on Jacksonville?"
Yeah. Okay, so we got 3 squares left. All right, so we got the Texans ones. Texans, Vikings. Because my mind automatically goes to like quarterbacks and wide receivers. I don't think there's any that really crossed over between the two of them. thought Raiders Rams should be. That's got to be. Peterson, not Marcus Allen. No. Everybody who's watching, if you have any guesses, you feel free to throw them out there. But Rams.
Vikings.
Was it? I mean, I'm like Lamar. I don't want to say because I think I'm gonna look it up. But Lamarcus Joyner
For which one?
for Raiders, LA.
Raiders, Rams. I'm pretty sure that's I'm pretty
Lamarcus
sure. Yeah.
Joyner played for the Rams and Raiders. I'll look that shit up. I ain't gonna cap you guys.
You said LaMarcus Joyner?
Yeah.
These Vikings ones.
Wow.
I know he played for Jacksonville.
It's crazy.
Man. Vikings. I'm just trying to think of Vikings players. I'm just trying to think of like any skill positions of like old receivers or just different things like that.
Yeah.
Vikings.
I was thinking of Robert Smith, but I don't think he played for the Raiders. This one has got me stumped.
Yeah, this is.
It just snapped in my mind. Texas and Vikings, Case Keenum.
Oh, good old Keenum.
No?
Why saying no? He was definitely in Minnesota.
Is he not ever?
You got one.
Oh, maybe it's because he with the Texans now? Because maybe it didn't update like free agent signings or something like that.
Oh,
Who knows?
Man. I thought he played even back in the day, though.
Yeah. I think when I
No,
click
it
on the
just
box, it's like selecting another square. Okay.
Man,
These two.
did Xavier? No, Xavier Rhodes left Minnesota and he played with Indianapolis, right? Yeah, he didn't play with Oakland.
Man. Wait, so it's Raiders, Rams, and then Raiders, Vikings?
Yeah.
Did Ndamukong Suh ever play with the Raiders at any?
Game over. Randy Moss, Vikings and Raiders.
Oh, it did
Wow.
say game over. Oh.
You miss Randy Moss.
Come on, Kyle, that's your man.
I was literally thinking about that earlier. I was thinking of like the Aaron Rodgers draft. And,
Wait, so-
he went back and said he wanted to been drafted by the Raiders at that time, and I was like, why not? Randy Moss was there.
Does it tell you like what the other boxes are?
No.
Other than Randy Moss? Like,
I think some websites do. I don't think this one does.
No, I don't know if this dude played with the Raiders. Yeah, Yannick. No, I thought maybe Yannick Ngakoue for the
No.
Raiders
yeah,
Vikings.
he did. He played.
I know he played with Jacksonville. I know he played with Minnesota. I know he played with Indianapolis.
Because we got Yannick from the Vikings when he was on the Vikings, and then
But I'm
after
talking
the
about, did he
Ravens,
play on the
stint-
Raiders.
Yeah, after the Ravens, stint, he went to the Raiders. After the Ravens,
I thought he went to
stint.
Indianapolis.
I don't freaking know, man. I'm hungry, man. I'm trying to get the hell out of here. Jesus. I don't know. I know he bounced around though.
Yeah, I think it was when I was clicking on the box, it like changed to another box because yes, LaMarcus Joyner did do that one. So we'll take.
Yeah,
credit
so I
for
got that right.
That one
Okay.
was right.
And then
So he missed that one with Randy Moss.
okay, yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
All right. I mean, I'll remember to do the MLB one next week because we're getting up there in time, so I think we'll call it an episode there.
Yeah.
But let me do this real quick. Take that away. But yeah, so everybody in the chat, appreciate all of you for tuning in with us. Great interaction once again. That's kind of what we do here on the Big Three. So I mean, anything you guys want to add before we get out of here? If not,
No, it's a good show. I mean, I wish Jake was here for debate with us, but it was a good show. It was a good show.
We'll definitely be back at it next week, so the debates will continue.
I mean, yeah, I don't really have much to say other than it was a good show. I mean, like I said, dull period in sports. New Ultimate Fighter tonight. Michael Chandler's team's looking to take that clean sweep, beat Conor McGregor 8-0, which has never happened before. So I'm excited for that. But other than that, just waiting. Got UFC events on Saturdays. Just counting down the Sundays.
Okay. Yeah, so I actually looked at the baseball grid. Jordan, it would have been right up your alley. The Yankees are on there.
Oh, wow.
So, but we'll have to see for next week. Will they put the Yankees back on there or not? But yeah, so we are the Big Three. We're here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Make sure you stay tuned. We got Line in the Sand coming up next, which if you're a wrestling fan, definitely a show you need to check out. I'm sure they have a lot to talk about with the Bloodline. You got the whole Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler stuff. So I'm sure they got a lot to talk about.
SummerSlam's coming up.
Yeah, that's always a big show on the WWE calendar. So check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Then tomorrow morning, make sure you're up bright and early for Coffee and Sports. Great show to get your day started. So tune into that. But if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're over on Facebook, follow us because we got a lot of things going on here. Definitely will enjoy it. So for that, for Dylan, Jordan, and myself, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. We will see you next week.
Fun
Have a
show.
good night,
Good show,
everybody.
y'all. Good show.
Yep.